team coverage, though. We've got Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers tracking the storm out of here. We have a meteorologist, Diane Phillips, who's checking on maybe some down power lines and trees in First Alert Defender. And Emma Henderson is in the Maumee area checking on damage reports as well tonight.
So let's start off getting over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers. A very busy afternoon. What is ahead for the next few hours, Chris?
Yeah, you were kept ahead of the game on First Alert Doppler radar and the First Alert weather app, and of course the full First Alert weather team that has been keeping their eyes on these storms. And just check this one out. A squall line of storms that came racing out of Indiana, and it continues its trek across southern Michigan, northwest Ohio, all the way down through about Wapakoneta, where severe thunderstorm warnings do exist. Now, we're very close to the end of the risk of severe weather, at least into the early evening. There still are a couple severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect, and these are actually out toward Erie and Huron County, where we've got some strong storms that are still showing up that are out there just in eastern parts of Erie County down toward Huron County, where we're getting reports of some wind gusts and wind damage that was reported as those storms came on through. And I do expect that we're going to continue to see some of those strong storms that will roll east of I-75, and we're talking over toward Erie and Huron County, even east of Route 250, now clearing Sandusky and Norwalk. Did do a quick slice through this storm, still along some lakeshore areas from about Huron to Lorain, still the threat of some wind gust and wind damage. Well, I'll time this out. May not be the final round of storms, still perhaps more to come, but a recap of some of the damage that we've seen across the area. We're going to get over to First Alert meteorologist Diane Phillips, and we saw some storms that looked a lot like this earlier today. And Diane, you're down in the Rossford area. We had an incredible report earlier today. Tell us what you're seeing right now.
Well, we are actually on the road between Rossford headed towards Perrysburg because we were on the lookout for some wind damage. We had a report in the Rossford area of 72-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and we also had a report that there was damage to a building's roof. So we are on the lookout for that, but in the meantime, we haven't seen much as far as damage, which is a good thing in the area. We have seen some leaves and some smaller branches. We have seen some limbs that have been down, mainly along the side of the road. So we're going to continue to monitor for more damage. In the downtown area of Rossford, we actually saw some food trucks for some excitement in town, and there was some of the tents that didn't particularly like all the wind and the storms that had came through. So we're going to hopefully get those food trucks and dinner going no problem in the Rossford area. But we're going to keep an eye out, drive around here and see if we can see and find some of those downed trees and any structural damage throughout northwest Ohio. So we'll be out in First Alert Defender here for the next hour or so. But for now, we'll turn it back to you folks in the studio.
And the First Alert weather app comes in handy on days like today, that's for sure. It is updated by our First Alert weather team. You get all the watches and warnings, so you know exactly what to expect right in your neighborhood. That's a free download on your smartphone or tablet.
First Energy still dealing with thousands of power outages across the area right now. In fact, you see that map. It is littered with outages. Map showing 15,000 customers in the Lucas County area that are out of power right now. We broke that down specifically to towns and townships and cities, and Toledo getting the bulk of those was up near 5,500, about 2,500 others out in Sylvania. Only a few scattered outages in Wood County, Fulton County coming in at about 4,500. They are promising some of those, if not all, back up online by tomorrow. We have been getting reports of damage as those storms rolled through. You heard that from Diane as she was rolling in First Alert Defender. Let's check in now with Emma Henderson. She is out in Maumee. And Emma, give us a lay of the land out there.
Well, one of the things here that we're really dealing with is those power outages too, especially at some major intersections. So we're here at Monclova Road and the trail. There's a bit of a backup because you can see the lights are blinking red. So everyone's having to treat this as a four-way stop. Be extremely careful with what they're doing. And it appears that some of the medical practices who are by here, we're by St. Luke's, have at least some type of power, whether it's from a backup generator or it's returned. But the homes are still sitting in the dark. And for some people across the county, it's been that way since early this morning.
My tablet was charged, and I used that as a light to walk through the house, and But I said, well, I'm not going to use my tablet, and my phone wasn't even plugged in. I needed to save all the energy. I didn't know how long it was going to be. But when I called them, they told me it was going to be 11 p.m. No.
So it looks like it's going to be a long night ahead for some of our neighbors, as well as those people who are out on those power crews working to restore power across the Lucas County area. We are, of course, going to keep you updated. Reporting live in Maumee, Emma Henderson, WTOL 11.
It was a bad day all around for the state's COVID numbers. Record highs were set in cases and total hospitalizations. And the state's positivity rate is now 7.7%. Ohio now has 1,179 COVID patients in the hospital, including 186 on ventilators. The number of patients on ventilators jumped by 31 since Tuesday. Washington Local Schools is offering COVID vaccines to the public. The district held a clinic today at Whitmer High School to get more students vaccinated. Only about 15% of eligible students are. It was open to everyone, but was geared toward the students and families in the school district.
We thought it was more convenient for our students, our population, the people near us, if we could do that at the high school, centrally located. And it just allows our kids, if they wanted the opportunity to get that COVID shot, to do it here.
Another clinic will be held at Whitmer High School on September 1st for those who came by today to get their second dose. Here are some vaccination clinics happening this week. If you want to stop by and get the shot, you don't need an appointment. Anyone 12 and older is eligible to be vaccinated. We've got many more times and locations listed for you for the rest of the week at WTOL.com.
Springfield leaders say they are sticking with their original recommendations when it comes to masks. The district is still strongly recommending all students wear masks at school. Plus, all students and staff will be required to wear face coverings while on the bus.
We're putting 150,000 people in the Toledo downtown.
Well, the Solheim Cup is just weeks away, and if you have driven out there and seen around the city lately, you know, traffic in construction zones, well, it can be kind of tough. Amanda Fay talking with city leaders about how they plan to handle the congestion during the tournament celebrations in weeks.
This is what it looks like at 5 o'clock as commuters are headed home at the end of the workday. So imagine what this could look like come Solheim Cup time, where Collingwood, South St. Clair, and South Erie meet. It gets backed up, to say the least. That's because the Collingwood Avenue ramp was the only way to head south on I-75 for months.
So if you're heading out of downtown, there were very few opportunities to do that before, and now we've opened up a couple more of those.
ODOT obviously working on the major I-75 project. Just recently, the ramp from Miami Street to southbound 75 opened, as well as the southbound ramp from South Avenue. That ramp was closed for 2 years. As for getting into downtown from 75, some ramps are closed as well, including the main downtown ramp.
People are used to going northbound and getting off early at Collingwood and Erie. And then if you're coming southbound, that Washington ramp, that'll be open.
ODOT and City of Toledo leaders say they are working with the golf tournament to keep traffic flowing as best as possible.
I think we have, as of today, a pretty good plan to take care of kind of transportation during the event.
The City of Toledo says construction on Summit Street will be done by the tournament, so drivers won't have to worry about that. But just the sheer volume of folks downtown will create some bottlenecks. So the city is hoping people will take the bus. TARTA will have 2 park and rides on the north and south side of the river.
We're hoping that people utilize public transit. They park in some of the outer lots, utilize other forms of transportation to come in and to the celebration.
Leaders are also hoping people will hop on one of the city's new e-bikes or e-scooters to get around town, or even ride their own bikes downtown. For those who are driving, the city and ODOT will have more signs off and on the interstate to show folks where to go.
I think that we can probably, come together to create a situation where people are getting where they need to go, as long as you're coming early and expecting some of these delays.
Reporting in downtown Toledo, Amanda Fay, WTOL 11.
All right, for people heading from the tournament at Inverness to downtown for some of the events planned there, the Ohio Department of Transportation says drivers can take Dorr Street all the way east into downtown, or they can use the new 475 Dorr Street interchange and then loop around.
Jeff and I were happy to be part of Jeep Fest activities over the weekend, and now organizers spent part of today giving back to the community. The team at Jeep Fest and Columbia Gas partnered with Connecting Kids to Meals to package hundreds of meals for area children. Jeep Fest organizers say they wanted to incorporate a charitable aspect to that event as well.
When we have this kind of support from our community organizations that want to figure out how to support the community, it means a lot to us, and it just means a lot because Jeep Fest and Columbia Gas are two long-standing, very well-respected organizations in our community, and so for us to partner with them means a ton.
The group packed 400 weekend meals and dropped them off at 2 area libraries.
Well, you may not know this, but NASA has had a research facility here in Northwest Ohio for decades. And today, NASA's Plumbrook Station between Sandusky and Milan was officially renamed to honor one of Ohio's greatest. Here's John Monk.
Neil was a big advocate of the space program, and in particular, getting Artemis off the ground and moving forward. And I wish he could be here to see it.
Wednesday, the John H. Glenn Research Center's Plumbrook Station was rededicated. The new name is now the Neil Armstrong Test Facility. During the dedication ceremony, former astronaut and current NASA administrator Bill Nelson mentioned how appropriate the dedication was as Armstrong began his career as a test pilot.
And in honoring him today, we renew our commitment to staying curious, being pioneers, and continuing to explore further than any human has gone.
And after all of the NASA and elected officials spoke at the podium, a memorial stone was unveiled, officially dedicating this facility after Neil Armstrong.
3, 2, 1.
Senator Rob Portman said he had brought up the idea for the name change almost a decade ago to Neil, but Mr. Armstrong declined. Now, posthumously, Portman believes that showing of humility will be yet another source of inspiration for the next generation of great Americans.
Well, I hope that young people who come here and people who work here will understand that his accomplishments were unparalleled. He'll be in the history books for it. But it's that character, it's that grace, it's that humility, that patriotism.
Reporting in Erie County, I'm John Monk, WTOL 11.
The American Red Cross teaming up with the Toledo Mud Hens right now to combat the severe blood shortage. Right now, you can head to the Roost at Fifth Third Field until 7 o'clock. All of those who donate blood will get a free Mud Hens ticket and a $10 gift card while supplies last.
Get ready to pay even more. Coming up, a look at a new report which breaks down thousands of things you buy for your households. And a link between sleep apnea and heat issues, what you need to know just in case. Chris.
All right, I'm going to put you at ease.